welcome back to the Geek Branch podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Alex Cussler. As everybody always calls me Cussler. Tim, Dane, as always. Um, Unfortunately, Matt and Devontae still are busy at the moment. Work
Yeah,
holidays.
yeah. Holiday work is something else. With my family, my dad, he's having to work crazy hours right now,
Yeah.
so I totally understand on their part.
Yeah. But continuing what we were what I was bleh, continuing what I said earlier about what we were talking about today. Bandai Namco released new trailers today about Tales of Crestoria, a game that was leaked or not leaked, but has been talked about for well over a year.
hmm
It was supposed to release at some point this year, but they delayed it because they were not happy with the quality of the product. Stacy breaking things over there.
So I thought she was about to make the light fall down.
I want to say it was about a year ago that they released that first music video trailer that really hooked Dane in because it had I want to say, it had a really nice song.
Yeah, it has a new trailer to that came out today.
Mhm.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
As I said, I literally watched it about like an hour before we actually started today. But it goes over a lot of the gameplay aspects. Instead of like traditional Tales games, this will be a phone game, so of course, gotcha will be involved as it always is.
Gotcha.
Exactly. But basically, instead of traditional Tales games, where normally they're action oriented, where you move around in a small arena and fight enemies and stuff like that, it'll be turn based, more similar to Final Fantasy and Persona style. Every character looks like they have 1 to 2 abilities, like a basic attack, and then a cooldown ability, as well as a burst art or whatever. What are the big special attacks, the cool ones. It looks like you use 4 characters. Looks like you use 4 characters to fight. You'll have 6 main characters that you can that are a part of the story. I am not going to remember the names offhand because they are Japanese names. But each one basically, the story that it talks about is every people have the right to say to convict people of being wrong, if that makes sense. So you know how the witch trials, if somebody said one thing saying that somebody's a witch, they were immediately branded a witch and were put on trial. Basically, that can happen in this world, and if it does happen to you, you're branded with a crest. Hence, Tales of Crestoria. Anybody with a crest is basically considered an enemy of the world. So this is basically a tale of the people fighting against the world. Oh, what's the other things that it showed? Basically, you'll meet along the journey, you'll meet a lot of classic Tales characters. So the ones that they showed in the trailer were Luke from Tales of the Abyss, Mila Maxwell from Tales of oh crap, which one is that one?
And the only reason why we're not showing the trailer is because we don't want to get
Copyright
strike, because Bandai Namco is one of those companies that would totally do that.
So Mila Maxwell from Tales of Zilla, Velvet Crow from Tales of Berseria, and quite a few other characters. Of course, they will be the gotcha of this game. You'll have your 6 main characters that you can use, and then you will have the gotcha characters that you can pull. The example that they give, of course, is Velvet Crow being a SSR character. Of course, she is. They got.
I'm going to pull Symphonia characters.
Yeah, they didn't announce a release date or anything like that. But one would assume it would be sometime in 2020.
It's been so long that I originally forgot about it. If he hadn't mentioned it today,
I forgot about its existence too.
Yeah. When he brought it up, he was like, "What are you talking about? There's a new Tales game," and he's like, "Oh, there's that phone game that you're really interested in." And I was like, "Oh, it exists. Is it coming out?" And he's like, "No, there's no release date." And I'm just like, "Oh."
No, my prediction is either spring, I'd say late spring, early summer is my prediction for it. The game looks really polished. I know you were just watching the trailer for it.
Yeah, I was glancing down at it just to get a feel of it.
It looks extremely polished for a phone game.
Yeah, it's really good graphics for it, sure.
It is actually.
It looks like a Tales game.
It is actually my last phone game. Like I have tried a lot of gacha games.
Are you gonna retire after that?
No, I'm just like I'm basically retired now, because the last one I got was Crossing Void. and I spent some money on Crossing Void.
Yeah, and then you had Digimon before that.
Yeah, Digimon didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't play on my phone.
Yeah.
Crossing Void's okay, but that's all that it really is. They started playing Girls Frontline, which is
Very
cool.
weeb.
Oh well, yeah.
Yes. Honestly, Girls Frontline is the least gotcha game I've ever played.
Gotcha games, yeah.
The premium currency doesn't actually get you characters in it. The premium currency is literally used to upgrade stuff.
And Digimon, you don't even really have to use the gotcha mechanics. So
well, yeah, Digimon has like one of the worst gotchas. He has a fate level gotcha.
Yeah, in terms of getting actually good characters.
Crossing Void has like the fairest and kindest gotcha system I've ever seen to date.
It basically, you're guaranteed to get the character within, I think, 91 rolls.
91 pulls.
91 rolls, and it has a constantly ticking up, basically, what's it called? A pity timer.
That's lucky funny. Meter.
So the more you pull, the more likely you get to get the character,
and it increases the chances of getting SSRs. Period.
Yeah.
So like, if you don't get the character, and this is what's happened to me on every time I pulled in Crossing Void, and I'm not actually complaining, is I went 91 deep and only got the character on the 91st pull. So what happens is I have a higher chance of getting any other character as well. So I ended up with a bunch of SSRs. Like I have like 13 on my account, which some people don't even have, and they're still playing it. I'm not. Yeah. My account's on halt right now, and I still have more than people.
But the Tales series has put out a couple phone games. Like I know Tales of Link was one. There was a second one that was similar to this. That was similar in style to this, where it was a story based. Had its own original characters, but it had the other characters that were intermingled in it. I think it's Tales of the Rays, maybe.
Look, I never did anything with Tales on phone.
Tales of the Rays, yeah, that's what I was about to say. No one even knows that it exists.
Yeah,
there's an article about how no one knows that it exists.
Well, it was, from what I understand, it was pretty popular in Japan, but it came out over here
with no announcement.
With no announcement and way too late. Literally, I do remember it coming out. But it came out way too late for it to ever be relevant.
There's another Tales game too on the phone.
Yeah. I don't know which one that one
Tales
is.
of Wind.
Yeah. Well,
but
no.
It's an Oh wait, no. That's a different company.
Yeah, different.
My bad. Ignore me.
I think that's one of those MMO ones.
It is. Yeah. I guess that's the only two. Then
look. Let's just be honest here, right? Console. That is Tales.
Yeah.
Like
normally I would agree with you, but this one looks good.
No, that's my point. That's like that's what I said. It's so good that me, who's given up on phone games, are coming back.
Yeah.
For this one.
Personally, to me, this looks like almost a console game level game on a phone. And for me personally, I always prefer turn-based games over action type games.
PS3 era, maybe.
Yes,
but still, yes, on a phone, that's still good graphics.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying it's the
modern, yeah, but it's really good for that era.
Yeah, I always prefer turn-based games because I usually like to play my phone while I'm doing something. I don't care for the action ones. Specifically, to bring up an example, Girls Frontline. All I ever actually truly have to do is basically move my characters around on a map, and they'll basically auto battle. Even on as a base setting, the game auto battles whenever you go into a battle. You can turn it on. You can turn it to auto do skills as well. Fate Grand Order is completely turn based, but unfortunately that one doesn't have an auto battle. Man, I wish it did.
Do you think that this will last though? Because like, no offense to the Tales series, but it doesn't have as large of a lineup of character choices as say.
Well, there's a ton of Tales.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say there's
but memorable characters.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, so let me give you
like Tales is literally right behind Final Fantasy. I don't know what you're. Talking about.
Tales has a lot of games, but it's not like Dragon Quest level.
It is.
Yeah. There's a ton of Tales games.
Yeah, like Tales is literally divided into 3 eras. It's literally classic era, modern era, or not modern era. It's classic era. What's this? There's a middle era, literally middle era where like Vesperia falls in, Symphonia falls in, and then there's a modern era which is all of Zillia. Can't talk.
I'm not saying I've played some of their games. I'm just saying I don't think that its popularity is as big here as some of the others that has made gacha games.
Maybe on the popularity thing, but they definitely got a lot of good characters.
Well, that's what what I meant by lasting, as in lasting here in America as popularity scale.
I would think that it has an equal chance of Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
I think that it's
Well,
one
I
for
guess
one.
Dragon Quest was a bad example because Dragon
if you were
Quest
to
is
say
not
Fi-
extremely popular
if you were
over
to say
here.
Final Fantasy, I would have agreed with you because Final
Yeah.
Fantasy is the more well known, more
Yeah, over
popular.
here.
And we've seen that with Exodus too.
Yeah.
Star Ocean is an example of one failing.
Well, Star Ocean
Failed
doesn't
for
have-
multiple reasons.
Well, it doesn't have the roster to pull
Yeah.
off of
Yeah.
that Dragon Quest and Tales would have. Though Star Ocean is a great series of games.
Yes.
They even have a phone game. Not that I've ever.
No,
Never
that
played
one
it.
that one's dead. It's
Yeah.
dead.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'd rather just get another Star Ocean.
Well, we're
on
getting
the
that.
next
We're
gen.
getting
A
the,
good
console.
Star Ocean.
Isn't? Are we getting that MMO? Am I crazy?
Who cares about it?
You're thinking of Fantasy Star Online
That's what
2.
I'm thinking.
We're getting
I'm sorry.
Fantasy Star Online 2 on
I
in the
apologize.
West finally.
But I do think this one actually has the
Potential.
polish and the potential to go on.
It just looks like the best fun game currently being produced of its genre. Because if you consider Fate to be in the visual novel genre, and this to be in the
tactics.
RPG, tactics
this-
genre, it's
Yeah,
definitely
what's its
topping out there.
competition? Final
Because,
Fantasy's record keeper.
Regardless about what you say
Mm.
about regardless about what you say about FGO, its selling point is definitively like the visual novel format.
No. I'm
and
not
that
saying you're wrong on that.
It's a card game like
No,
Dragon Ball is.
No. I'm not saying you're wrong on that. I'm actually.
Oh wait,
bringing
so
up-
it's a card game?
Yeah, Fate is a card game.
yeah. You
So boring. I don't want it anymore.
Oh, whatever.
no,
bro.
it's saying it's a card game is wrong, but right at the same time. I'll explain that to you off thing.
Yeah.
But the closest competition I would say this game would have in terms of style that it is Final Fantasy, not
Record keeper.
it's Dissidia. Final Fantasy Dissidia. The phone game that came out about a year ago.
Yeah.
That would be the closest one I would put it to in terms of
No one even talks about that one.
It was good when it started,
It's still popular. It still has a pretty good fan base going on.
and it
for
rocks in Japan.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
sure
still
it does.
it's still pretty good. Like I would if I could get access to my account again, I'd probably go back and play it at some point. But I don't think I can.
Omni Opry.
Yeah, Omnia Opera. That's
Yeah.
what it is. But it's one of the better like turn-based phone games, and it even had a good multiplayer. I'm actually hoping
For
that-
the co-op battles, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm
you
just
and-
looking up.
me and my roommate did that
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm looking up weeb games.
I was Wall,
Yeah, you were the
Warrior of Light for life.
when what was her name? It was the character from FF11 came out. That was who I wanted and got her weapons.
I think Harvey wanted Snow.
No, Harvey wanted lightning,
Lightning.
and he
Yeah.
did get her. He got her weapons. That
We all have the characters.
Yes.
You need to get their weapons.
yes. But overall, I think that would be the closest one to compare it to. I wouldn't say tactical is best because there is actually a genre of
No,
like turn-based tactical
yeah,
games.
yeah. Like
What about
Fire
another
Emblem
another
Heroes is tactical.
Eden? Another Eden.
I've heard about that one, but I haven't.
It's
played
pretty
it.
popular.
Yeah.
It's another Eden in Sevens or whatever that was the other one called.
Epic 7.
Epic 7, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have that one on my phone, and I
Yeah.
still every now and then log into it.
Yeah, those two are really popular.
Mm-hmm.
But tactical games you would consider it to be like Fire Emblem Heroes.
Fire Emblem Heroes,
Yeah.
Alchemist Code. There's actually a new Final Fantasy one that's made by the same developers as Alchemist Code coming out.
Oh.
It looks really good too.
But yeah, this one is definitely just straight up JRPG.
yeah,
It's it's replicating the old Final Fantasies 1, 2, 3, 4
Yes.
format.
Right.
That's the one I'm looking forward to. I from the gameplay trailer, from all the trailers from before it looks really good. It looks really polished. Unlike a lot of phone games that come out, like to give an example, one that literally hasn't come out yet and it was supposed to come out like 3 months ago. Sin of Alice was a one that's still ran regularly, or still played in Japan. It was supposed to come out about 3 months ago. We're gonna launch it with the Nier collab. It was supposed to be a really good one by Square Enix. It got delayed indefinitely. Still no actual confirmed release date. From what I heard, the company that was licensing it not failed, but Square Enix wasn't happy with what they were doing with it, and basically
They are very picky.
yeah, they pulled the plug on it. And
As they
as
should be.
far as I understand, there has been no confirmed.
How hard is
release
it to convert it over to
Whoa,
English?
Whoa.
Well,
Whoa, hold your horses now. Let's just
It's a mobile game.
I know, but take a second here. You say that, but I want to point out Final Fantasy 15.
It's well that, but also there's
That's not a mobile game.
I know. I'm just saying when you talk about Square Enix being picky, though.
there's another big reason.
Well, with Final Fantasy 15, they spent so much money into the development of 15, they had to cash
they
cow
had to
it.
stop being picky.
Yes.
And just let it go.
Yes.
That's my point. Square Enix will do that eventually.
Yeah, they had no choice. It was a lot of money.
In a lot of years too.
Yes.
Yep.
So I can't blame them on that one.
To give the idea on the localization thing for phone games, a lot of times the two big factors are price changes. So a lot of companies have gotten in trouble for this over the years, where so something has come out of Japan, and I know this has happened in other countries. Specifically, I think Korea was one of the big ones that did this for one game.
Korea doesn't play around.
They changed the prices. They changed the prices and changed the rates of games, but lied about it and got in trouble for this. That's why companies have to be very particular about how they're changing it for a localized thing.
They have look into laws.
Exactly. My assumption for the Cinevalis thing is either the company that was doing it, because by the way, it's not the Japanese company that usually runs the microtransactions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's whatever company has brought it over here.
Right.
Maybe my two theories are either they were either overcharging for the particular microcurrency, I guess is what you call it, for microtransactions,
Because pricing for micro,
or their translation was terrible.
or yes,
yeah, but like pricing, for instance, standard wise is $20 for a gotcha pool of 10 plus 1 or 10 plus a bonus of some
yes,
efficiency. So basically every pool is effectively $2. Some of the best gotcha games, as far as being really lenient about that, like heading towards Crossing Void, are about $1 a pool.
yeah.
And those are really lenient, but they also tend to have like a bunch of stuff that is not relevant to the game. Like, for instance, Crossing Void, for all of its greatness, has like grinding materials,
Yes.
in the gotcha pool. Which
Now,
is so weird.
To give an example of a phone game that's extremely giving, especially in the later years, Dokkan Battle gave so much.
But Dokkan's hilarious because the thing about Dokkan is that Dokkan is one of the 20 per 10 financial setups.
Yeah.
But what Dokkan eventually started to do was like, we're going to guarantee that you get this and that and all this extra stuff. And it's like, oh, hey, you guys got number one in the App Store. Here's two free multis, $40 of content for free.
Yeah.
Just here, have
Yeah,
it.
they normally stay in the top, like for top grossing, they're normally in the top 5.
Yeah.
Grand Order doesn't ever do the app stuff, like the if they're ever doing good or something like that. They do basically every time they hit a milestone on downloads, they'll give out a few free stuff or give out stuff.
Yeah. Some companies are just not very generous.
Yeah.
Well, they already make all the money, and people give them their money anyways.
It's a popular franchise. I don't know how this new Tales game is going to handle their microtransactions. I don't know how.
I find that people spend more money the more lenient you are with your gotcha. Yeah. Like the $10 gotchas tend to pull a lot more money.
This is why the Pokemon game, the new one, failed.
Yeah.
Because the way their system works.
Yeah.
You couldn't use the points that you earn in game with the ones that you bought. That is total BS.
It happens on occasion. Premium banners are what those are called, when you can only use the paid currency.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Grand Order does that basically on their yearly for New Year's, and they'll do it for anniversaries, but it's always if you can only use paid money for it, you can only do it once, and
there's not a monthly service for that, is there?
No. No, it's literally
no subscription.
It's literally it's basically twice a year where you get you have to use paid quartz, specifically paid quartz, and you get a guaranteed character, like a guaranteed SSR character from that banner. And you usually it's split up into banners, so you at least know and have an idea of what you're getting.
You get a random pool out of a smaller pool than normal.
So basically, to give a small example, I know later on they'll be doing class banners. So basically, if you wanted somebody from the Saber class, yes, you can
Rider
pick
class,
that one.
Yeah,
Spear
and
class,
you're guaranteed to get a 5-star of the Saber class.
Sorry.
So here's the big thing about like Dokkan Battle that really made Dokkan Battle remain so positive despite being a 20 per 10 type of format.
Yeah.
Dokkan, this is how Dokkan is so nice to you. Dokkan gives you step up banners to begin with. So the first pulls on the banner are cheaper than a standard banner would be. So already is that. Dokkan then sells all of its stones at a discount whenever that banner is released. So that's 2. If the group takes number 1 in the App Store, you get a massive bonus that's normally worth at least 1 full multi.
Yep.
But there are 3 stores. There's the English Global Store, there's the JP Store, and then there's the Combined Market. And if Dogen takes number one in all three,
You get a crap
you
ton
get
of
like more money than you spent getting
Right.
there back in gifts.
Dokkan is an extremely giving game.
Right. And then to top it all off, at the end of the year, for every dime you spent in that game, you get tickets, which can be used for free pools.
Mhm.
So if you spend $5,000 in that game, you get
Wow.
$5,000 worth of tickets over the course of a year to just pull all over again.
Yep.
That game is so generous. It is ridiculous. They made one mistake, a really minor one too, where they messed up on a banner, just basically a coding issue that showed the wrong character as being pullable. And because of how strict gacha laws are in Japan, they have to appropriately respond to that. So how about they gave everybody the character and 300 stones to pull for?
Yep.
And that's like $60 of content and the character you wanted to get anyway.
Certain games or certain companies are very giving with their gacha games. Certain companies are not. Grand Order has actually gotten better and better as it's or specifically Delightworks, which is the company that runs Grand Order. It has gotten better and better over the years. They've basically backlogged. So they backlogged a lot of extra quartz that we should have gotten. Basically, every 50 days we get an extra. We get 20 quartz for free. They backlogged it to make it to where you get 30 quartz every day, every time you log in for 50 days, and they backlogged all of the 10s that you would get from them. So it's
so we can only hope though that the Tails game is
Yes,
on the
yes.
generous side, it's on the cheap
Do-
side.
do-
since it is
Dokkan generous
Bandai,
side.
I have good faith that it
Because Bandai, no, Bandai phone games
Bandai
Okay,
Focus are
okay.
tend to be in this market.
Dokkan is that the One Piece game is that
Okay, because I was gonna say, if they're anything like their console side,
No.
Bandai Mobile is what I'm going to refer to
man,
it as.
Bandai, the console or gaming mainline gaming side is a dumpster fire here lately.
Yeah, no, they're really weird on how they decide to do things.
Yeah.
but
Like
they
Jump
are
Force,
generous.
that last One Piece game they made.
which is hilarious because
Yeah.
Jump Force was nominated as the best fighter this year.
That was because there was not enough to pick from.
But Smash was going to win anyway. Shouldn't even have been a category.
I don't even know if they'll be able to have a fighting category next year.
They will. UniST is getting a new game. I'm assuming their Guilty Gear's coming out next year.
Oh, okay, so
I'm
they have.
assuming Blaze Blue will have something new. Like, yeah, they'll have something.
Yeah,
next year.
Blaze Blue will have a cross tag battle too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll get nominated. Yeah, they'll be nominees. But anyways, past that, no, Bandai has always been very, very giving.
In the mobile market.
Yeah.
In the mobile market, yes, because not the same in the consoles.
Now they also screw up a lot, but that also means that they just give you a lot of stuff for screwing up. It's
Yeah.
really kind of like a positive
take.
negative. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really strange because they'll do things that they know they should not do. Like they bring banners over from Japan, Japan DBZ to American DBZ or
And
global
they'll
DBZ.
change them.
Horrifically change them. I mean, like it was some of the worst changes I've ever seen. I'm like, you could have just copied. And
What was
pasted
that one banner that you were pissed
It was
at?
it was UI Goku and Strength Janemba.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I was. Sorry, I don't remember who was on the opposite side of him. I think it was Janemba. But
Not Janemba. Was it
UI Goku and someone else. It was a villain.
It was the bad guy from the tournament, wasn't it? Because they did.
No, Jiren came out much later
Okay.
than UI Goku.
Then I
UI
guess it
Goku
was.
came out early.
Then I
yeah.
guess it was Strength Jiren.
Yeah.
Janemba. God dang it.
Janemba, yeah. And so, because both of them are strength.
Yeah.
and who did they put some old, outdated, useless character? They clogged that banner up in the worst way possible.
Yep.
You couldn't pull UI Goku. You couldn't pull Janemba. It was the worst example of people just quit. People were literally just like, I don't know what the fuck you just did, but we're just done.
Yep.
And then Dokkan realized that it screwed up at such a monumental level that it came back and was like, we got you.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll make up for it.
We like I said, Bandai.
Don't worry.
Bandai, I don't know if they just have like a universal panic button in their offices where they're like, all right, I think we screwed up, guys. Hit the panic button. And then they just give you everything that you could have ever have asked for.
Yeah.
But like they can screw up big.
Right. Well, hopefully they'll go in the same direction with the Tails game.
I'm hoping so. Look, I'm just looking forward to it. I think it's actually going to be a good one.
If it's anything like Dissidia, by the way, which just has all your favorite characters that
Yeah.
you get to pull and play with.
By the way, I didn't actually fully explain how their gacha works. So you do pull characters. And they do have different ratings and stuff like that. But you can also use those characters to basically equip to your the other main characters and power them up. So they're a mix of weapons as well as characters that you can use.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. They're literally fragments, is what they're called. They're like they're
memories of these other characters from across
Tales. So you can either summon them to use them or use their power to enhance yourself. It actually looks like an interesting system.
Well, we'll just have to play it and check it out and tell them what we think when it comes out.
Yep.
Seems like good. But I think that's everything about that. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.